Hello, hello. Our guest will be here. He's having some technical difficulties with connecting and having his camera pop on and mic. I think it might be that he's not using Chrome. We'll figure it out in a second here, hopefully. But to those of you who think we late and you can time check us, if you're going to time check us, at least time check us with a donation so we can really bring it up. All right? Cool?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a super chat button right at the bottom.
Yeah, super chat to check. You know what I'm saying?
Know what I
Golly,
mean?
you think you can just check us for free? What do you think this is?
Talent costs,
Socialism?
ladies and gentlemen.
You think we're a socialist podcast? We are not we're not a socialist podcast.
We don't podcast for free here.
Nothing for free. We're about the Benjamins.
Run me
Okay.
my money.
Even some of them Lincolns as well. I mean, smaller, but still money.
Crypto.
Crypto, the dog from Superman.
Yeah.
As you can see, this is what I mean. So as long as that keeps oscillating, this means that he's having issues. So, we're not lying, that he is indeed here, coming in and out. And I am talking to him via text to make sure he gets the right. Try it again. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, David, and you can hear us, if it doesn't work, we might have to try a different day when we solidify all the bugs and stuff out. Or I'll, for now, play all your content so they get an idea who you is. I mean, I'll be doing that anyway, but it'd be nice to have you to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
In any way, he's trying. See, now that's how you do it.
See? Thank you.
You don't have to be a big amount. It could be 50 cents. But you get your shout out, and you get your point across.
Thank you, Connie.
Take
It's fine.
Connie know what's up.
Yeah.
Connie is kind of one of the OGs. I feel like Connie's one of the OGs.
So
got a $10. Oh my God.
YouTube has done a new update on how they display things, and they give not only the name, but the slot number in which your name falls into. So you'll see your name followed by a whole laundry list of things. That's just your ID, your channel ID that you're seeing in real time. So don't stress over it. Thank you. D, y'all are nice. Y'all are nice. Can you hear us, sir? Even if your camera's not working, can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us either. When I see the lights of his eyes down below, I'll bring him back up. In the interim, we'll play for you the full video that we tried to play, or we're about to play last week. And I think it's a good bit of information to have. So this is him. This is what he got to say. Close that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dave Frank, and I'm doing this video because I know that we can take back and fix America. America's a beautiful place, man. Just look at this. Look how beautiful this is. This whole country is a gift, and it's worth saving, and we can do it. We have technology now that nobody in the past has ever had. We have the communication technology so that we, the people, can start making decisions ourselves on issues that affect our lives. This is the plan, very simply. This is a short video, but in 1969, public broadcasting started, and it was supposed to be used to actually broadcast the public, but instead, the federal government funded it and started making sure that it wasn't used to broadcast the public, and instead they're broadcasting cartoons, Antique Roadshow, and 60s music, and it's not important. We need to use public broadcasting station, our local public broadcasting station in each community as our new local issues TV, radio, and internet channel. It will be the channel that you, the people, get busy fixing your education system, your environment, your tax system, your healthcare system, all of the things in your community that you, the people, care about. You'll be able to present your ideas right over the TV, the radio, and the internet. Public broadcasting will turn into our local issues TV, radio, and internet channel. And you'll present your ideas directly to the community, and we'll debate your ideas because we want people to be educated on your idea, and then we'll vote on it, and then we'll implement it. And that's it. That's it. You're going to be able to vote with any touch-tone phone. What you're going to do is you're going to call a local number. Your call will go into a community database that will have your ID number and PIN number. When you see an issue on your TV, radio, or on the internet, the local issues TV, radio, and internet channel that you want to vote on, you'll just call a local number. It'll go into the database, ask you for your ID number and PIN number, ask you what issue number you'd like to vote on, press 1 for yes, 2 for no, count your vote, block you out from voting more than once. It's really that simple. The people in Washington, D.C., those politicians are not going to fix your community. The people in state capitals are not going to fix your community. And the mayor and the city council are not going to fix your community. It's up to we, the people. That's why the Constitution says we, the people. It means all of us. You know, not 535 in Washington or 150 in state capitals or 9 downtown. It means all of us. We now have the communication technology that we need to get busy and start fixing our piece of America. And if everybody does that, America will get fixed. So that's the plan. I hope you like it. I hope you visit our webpage, onevoicenow.org, ONE voicenow.org/video. Check out the video, check out the problem and solution page. If you need to get in touch with me, I hope you like this idea. I hope you're ready to start pushing it to your city council and making it happen. The blueprint is right on our webpage. So if you need to get in touch with me, my phone number is 574-876-7306, and I'm in Indiana. I hope you like this idea. I love this country, and I believe in the people, and I hope you do too. And when we do this in America, they're going to do this in every country around the world, and it can all start right in your own community. Okay, this is Dave Frank. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Hey, look how beautiful this is, folks. This is worth saving. This is worth saving for our kids and their kids. We can do this, but I can't do it alone. If we all start working together, pushing one simple plan, got a TV, radio, or are you on the internet? Why don't you just watch issues over the TV, radio, or internet and vote by phone? Can't make it any more simple. Let's forget about this Democrat, Republican, independent baloney. They don't represent you. The best person to represent you is you. You have the technology that you need right in your hand to empower you and change the world and make it the way you think it should be. Okay, I'm signing off. Thanks for listening. Please share this with as many people as you can. We're just trying to get the idea out there. I don't have the answers. All I have is the tool that you need in each community, in your community, to start firing up all those brain cells. Okay, thanks for listening. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Well,
he's not wrong. I mean,
no,
he's right.
I can dig that.
Okay, so I was talking to him, and what we're gonna do is do a phone in. So I'll just have him talk on the phone, and we'll do it like that. I think that might be the best option. So let me call him here. Put it on speaker. You're hearing that okay?
Yeah.
Howdy.
Howdy. Okay, so you are live now. We'll have to do it this way since it doesn't want to do it the other way for some reason.
Well,
I don't know why.
Maybe I've got a face for radio.
I just showed them your face, so they saw it. So now you got a radio and TV face now. So
there you go.
Okay.
Marlon, just put his picture up.
yeah, I'll put your picture up.
Yeah.
Well, how do I do that?
Okay.
I don't know if I can do
Well,
that. I'll try and find a way to do it. But sir, okay, so we just watched your video that you sent me on One Voice. And so I want for you to please break down in detail the concept you have regarding the open source media for like PBS and stuff like that, the statement you made in that video. Can you break that apart for us to kind of get a more robust answer, since you just kind of gave the topical version of it? Give us a more detail how you see this working.
You mean right now we're on the air?
Yeah, right. We're live right now. We're on air right now.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me let your audience know that the American people own a broadcasting station, and it's networked all across America. And it started back in 1969. And when it started, people were excited because they thought that it was going to be used to broadcast to the public. But the last thing the government wants is the public having a voice. So what they started doing was funding it to make sure that that didn't happen. And instead, we're watching Antique Roadshow and cartoons and 60s music. And what we want to do, what One Voice Now is using our local public broadcasting facilities. It's networked all across America. Each community has access to one. And we want to change the format of those public broadcasting stations to do what they were initially intended for, and that was to broadcast to the public. So basically, what we want to do is have them be used as our local issues, TV, radio, and internet channels, so that excuse me, so that when people in the community have an idea to make education better, environment, taxation, healthcare, infrastructure, whatever it is, they'll be able to present their ideas right to the community over the TV. We'll live stream it over the radio, or simulcast it over the radio and live stream it over the internet, so everyone has an opportunity to hear it. And then what we'll do is we'll debate these different ideas, because we want people to be educated on these different ideas. And we'll have a debate, and we'll broadcast the pros and the cons of the idea being presented, and then we'll be able to vote directly on these issues with any touch-tone phone. All you'll do is call a local number. It'll go into a community database that will have your ID number and PIN number. It'll ask for that. It'll ask you what issue number you'd like to vote on. Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, count your vote, block you out from voting more than once, and we can now have decisions made the way our founders wanted them to be made, of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that's basically it. It's very, very simple. What we're doing now isn't working. Right now we're all paying about 60% in taxes. We're trying to live on 40 cents on the dollar. Our communities are filled with poverty and crime. And by having a voice, we can say no. We want to keep our monies in our community and take care of the things that we want done. And basically, we're rebuilding America from the ground up. And that's basically it. It's not very complicated at all. Hey, watch issues over the TV, radio, and internet. Vote by phone. Let's go. Let's fix America. That's basically it.
So I'm sure the other two guys have questions too, but I'll put my first question and then I'll let them go. How do you prevent people using the PIN number from a different location, or falsely using the PIN number? So it's assigned to me, but Joe decides to use it to cast a different vote than my number. Is it? How do you secure that avenue?
Well, once you voted, you'll be blocked out from voting again.
Mm-hmm.
And we're using PIN numbers for everything, and we're using our phones for everything. I pay my bills with my phone. I move money with my phone. I do just about. I don't even use a computer anymore. My phone is this computer. Phones are now, as there are voting devices.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is why do we want to keep voting for politicians that will never listen to us? I'm 77 years old. I've never been asked my opinion on any issue.
Mm-hmm.
I have no voice. I have no representation. And we're, it's not a secret anymore. These people have taxed us to death, and they've stolen our money, and that's why America's falling apart. And in the Declaration of Independence, it tells us that it's not only our right, but our duty to change the system. And very simple, ID and PIN, we're using them all the time. You're the only one that gets to use it. Yeah, somebody, when you vote on issues in your community and you got 100,000 people that have an interest in voting, somebody might be able to get one extra vote. I don't know. I don't think so. It's possible, but it's a lot better than what we have now, because we have corrupted voting machines. We have Democrats and Republicans counting their own paper ballots. I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but in Florida, the hanging
Al Gore,
chads,
yeah.
that was a joke. And the last thing that the politicians want is us using today's communication technology to empower we the people. And it's up to us. People forget that the founders weren't politicians. They were citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we want more of a voice. And it was up to them to come up with the plan. The politicians aren't going to come up with the plan. It's up to us. And right now, America is getting ready to explode. People have had it. They're tired of paying 60% taxes and getting absolutely nothing back. They know their money's being stolen from them. And we're either going to have a revolution, and we don't want that, because once that starts, we're done. A revolution is one complete turn, and you're right back where you started. America started with the revolution. We're right back. And the question is, are we going to have a violent revolution that solves absolutely nothing? Or are we going to have an evolution where we, the people, evolve into adulthoods and start representing ourselves like adults? And all we've got to do is take control of our local public broadcasting facilities that we own and demand that they be used the right way. So that's basically it.
I like it. You guys have questions?
Yeah. Yeah. So not a lot of people are subscribing to local public broadcasting networks, considering that we live in a Spotify style generation where everything is streaming. So how do you propose we revert back to that from a community standpoint?
Well, the reason nobody's watching it is because there's nothing on. And once they realize that they can go to that local station and they can get rid of their property taxes by somebody raising the issue, the community participating in the debate and voting on it, and realizing that, hey, we just saved $200 a month. We got rid of property taxes that we now realize are totally unconstitutional. So the public broadcasting facility is basically the anchor. And, a lot of people really don't watch TV anymore, but a lot of people are on the radio or they're on the internet. So that's why we're using all three forms of communication technology, the TV, the radio, and the internet. So however you want to see it, it's all possible now. And once people realize that this is their go-to station, they have a real voice on, fixing their environment or fixing their education system. This is, you guys, I don't know how old you guys are, but like I said, I'm 77. When I was growing up, my mother and most of the mothers were involved in the schools. Mm-hmm. And they were involved in the PTA, the Parent Teachers Association. And basically what One Voice now is, it gives everybody one voice on all of the different issues in our community that we care about. And when it comes to education, this will basically be the electronic PTA, where instead of, some clowns on a school board that are basically controlled by the government, instead of them fixing our education system, we have the teachers and the parents working together to start making our education system work again. I mean, at one time it was incredible. I mean, we won World War II with it. We built America with it. And then all of a sudden they started dumbing down the education system. And unfortunately, society is showing the results of that right now. So I hope that answers your question. It was sort of long and drawn out answer. I apologize, but I try and keep this as simple as possible because it really is simple. Nobody's going to ride into town and fix this for us. And if you read the Constitution, there are two words that are missing. And we're trying to use a system from the 1700s to solve 21st century issues. And the two words that are missing are communication technology, and it's not in the Constitution. And all we've got to do is add it locally, and we can fulfill the Constitution, because the goal of the Constitution was to have the role of the federal government decided by we the people, the state government, and the local government. Once we have a voice locally, we can fix this stuff. So anyway, I hope that answers your question.
bro, you got a question for me?
Yeah. So how would you keep big government hands out of this? Because I believe that the minute the big government sees that local communities are fixing a lot of their own problems, they're voting for their own issues, they're getting rid of certain issues, i.e. like property tax. How do we keep big government from stepping in saying, no, you cannot do that?
Well, if they did, then they'd be really standing up against democracy, because most people don't realize America is not a democracy. It never has been, because, we've never had today's communication technology to make it a democracy where the issues are raised by the people, debated by the people, and voted on by the people. So, they call it a democracy because they want you to believe that the terrible decisions that they've been making are a result of we the people.
Mm-hmm.
And they aren't. I mean, constitutionally, those people in Washington, D.C. are called representatives.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not communicating with your constituents, you are not representing them. I mean, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a realtor, if you're not communicating with your people, you can't do what they want. And like I said, I'm 77. I've never been asked my opinion. I've gone to the city council meetings. I've tried to stand up against things that I thought were wrong. And then I realized that all of the decisions being made locally at city council meetings, they're all the same. You know what the answers are? It's a done deal.
So
It's a done deal. It's all done. It's all done behind closed doors, and it's up to we the people to stand up. I'm telling you, this country is getting ready to blow up. Everybody, they've got us fighting each other, and the only way that we can have real equality in our society is through our voices. It's the only way. I can't play basketball like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I don't have Elon Musk money or whatever. But one thing that we can all have is an equal voice in building the kind of communities we want. And if everybody starts working at building their own communities and finding solutions, and when we find solutions that work in our community, we share them with the rest of the communities around the country, we can start rebuilding America from the ground up. America is a top-down system. Just like basically a dictatorship or republic, they're all the same. They're all top down, and top down systems always benefit the people at the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's why 5% of the people in America own 80% of the wealth, and we're all fighting over the 20% that's left. And we just don't have to do that anymore. With a voice, we can fix our tax system. We can fix our healthcare system. We can fix our education system. We can clean our air. Nobody's going to do it for us. We've got to do it ourselves. And all it takes is good solutions. We have, in all of our communities, we have some of the finest minds in the world, and they aren't being tapped into. And we're realizing now, with everything that's going on, government is where great ideas go to die.
Yep.
And with one voice now, those great ideas can go to thrive. And that's what we're trying to do. But we're trying to get this out to America. The politicians absolutely hate me, and they hate it. And if we can get this out to the right people, where they can go, hey, yeah, there's really no reason why we can't watch issues over the TV, radio, and internet and vote by phone. We're voting on American Idol, Dancing with the Stars. We do our banking over the phone. We do everything just about. I can see my daughter 2,000 miles away on my phone. It's amazing. It's miraculous. And Jesus said 2,000 years ago, he said there'll be a day where the last will be first and the first will be last. And that's exactly what this plan is. It gives everybody, all of us, one voice now, where instead of 9 idiots on a city council telling a couple 100,000 people the way it's supposed to be, a couple 100,000 people will tell them the way it's going to be.
That's the way it should be.
So, quick question here. So I know that when we want to make sure that the people that we vote in they need to be reminded that they're nothing but servants and trustees. when it comes to Congress, when it comes to our city officials, even down to the local arena. Will One Voice now serve as kind of sort of a primary, I guess you could say a digital affidavit before we turn in the paperwork necessary to be able to remind these officials that you serve us and not the other way around? Is that kind of sort of what you're trying to implement with this?
Yeah, I was having a little trouble hearing your question, but we've got to get past, voting for, we're going to vote for people on a national level, but we really don't need people to represent us anymore. We have to step up and start representing ourselves. They're not going to fix our education system, our healthcare, our crime in our communities. It's not going to happen. All they're doing is stealing our money. Think of the word politics. Poly means many, ticks are bloodsuckers. They've stolen 60% of what we're earning, and we've got to do this ourselves. We've got to quit looking for that other person to do our thinking for us. And that's why society is so dumbed down right now, because we go, well, when this guy gets into office, he's going to fix everything. He's not going to fix anything. Once he starts getting that $17,000 a month and that ego, he's done. And people start bringing him bags of cash under the table, and they don't care about our communities. Our communities is where we live. And if everybody gets busy fixing our communities, we can fix America. But it's never going to be fixed from the top down. I think Trump's trying to do a good job of trying to clean up Washington, D.C. He's doing the best he can. But we've got crime in our local government. We have crime in our state government. And, if you want to pull the ladder from the power at the top, you always pull the ladder from the bottom. And that's our communities. And we don't have to get permission from anybody to do this. We have to come together as a group of people in each community, as a coalition, and say, hey, we want to change the format of our local public broadcasting station. We don't need Antique Roadshow right now. We don't need cartoons. We don't need 60s music. We need a voice. And this is our broadcasting station. We've got a plan to raise, debate, and vote on issues. Why should we let 9 people on the city council do it when 90,000 people can be involved?
Right. So I guess my question to you, David, is that are you saying that this One Voice now is going to serve as kind of sort of a preliminary affidavit before people turn in the written paperwork necessary to remind the people that we vote in that they're the ones that are servants and trustees? Is that kind of sort of the goal as well?
Man, for some reason I'm having trouble. You sound a little echoey.
Yeah, let me put you a little closer to the speaker. Hold on. One more time, Jay.
So is One Voice now going to serve as kind of sort of a community pre-affidavit before we turn in the paperwork to remind the politicians and to remind the city council that they're nothing but servants and trustees for us? Because that's the purpose of our congressmen, our representatives. That's the purpose of the people that we vote into school, city council, to school boards and stuff. If they're servants and trustees and they're doing what it is that you're saying, and they are, is One Voice now going to serve as kind of that preliminary affidavit before we turn in the paperwork?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know about the paperwork. We're not begging them for anything.
Right.
We're just fixing our communities. They hate this. Every person that you remember Pete Buttigieg, who they call him Pothole Pete. Well, he was the mayor here in South Bend, Indiana, where I live.
Oh, geez.
And I won the Dr. Martin Luther King Award here. I used to do a radio program. And I wrote the blueprint for Ross Perot's technological town hall meeting and voting system. Well, he came here and he ran for mayor, and I sent him my information. He ran on transparency and accountability. That's what his platform was. Well, for 8 years, he refused to talk to me because they don't want transparency and accountability, because they know with transparency comes accountability. So we have to start focusing locally. That's where it's at. It's the only way we're ever going to fix America. I mean, those people in Washington or the state capitals or downtown, they don't really care about our communities. All they care about is our money.
Yep.
And we've got to have a voice to say no. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Why are we sending our money to Washington or state capitals or giving it to 9 idiots downtown when we can keep our money here locally and decide together collectively what is a fair tax system and where we want our money to go and not go? But this will be a system where issue after issue starts going through the system. One of the issues that's been going around forever, I mean, it's a no-brainer, guys playing in women's sports. I mean, let's resolve the issue, raise the issue locally, debate it, vote on it, get done with the stupid thing. And that's just one issue. We're sitting here waiting for politicians in Washington or state capitals or downtown to do something. They aren't going to do anything. All they care about is stealing our money. That's it. And laundering it. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with that stuff that's going on in Minneapolis.
Yes.
You keeping up with that?
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. Just terrible. And we're broke. Our communities have no more money. It's all been sucked out. And I've never seen so many homeless people or people basically, living hand to mouth if they miss a paycheck. Hey, when I was growing up, if one person in the family worked 40 hours a week, you could be middle class. You could.
Yep, not anymore.
My first house was $21,500. My payment was $120 a month, and that included taxes and insurance, and it was beautiful. Cape Cod on an acre of land. And all they're doing is stealing from us. Our dollar's not worth anything because the idiots in Washington are printing out money, and it's devaluing our money. But this can be fixed, but you've got to do it from the ground up, and you have to have a plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And right now, all we're doing is sitting back waiting for the people that have destroyed America to fix it, and they aren't going to do it.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I agree.
The question I have in execution, and I know you say that the simplicity of it exists, but you mentioned two things I can see as possible problems.
Okay.
And the possible problems is the first thing you mentioned about the education system. Trying to rewire people's mentality to leave the comfort of having people tell them what is, to have them going to seek it themselves is a really steep hill, considering that this kind of a brainwashing has been in effect since the early 80s, actually more likely the late 60s. But when we look at the microcosm that is education and what it actually deposited in society, with the people being, well, for lack of a better term, retarded, you have to fight against their own, they're fighting their mindset as to come back to a form of reasoning that I don't know we're going to get many to follow. And I'm not saying it won't take off, but is there an executionable plan do you have to approach the and whether or not they're offended is not my concern, the more remedial of society that were dumbed down because of what school did? How do you get them to engage in this new way of possible voting?
Well, we want to get our kids educated. There's no doubt about that, but they're doing everything but that. When you and I were growing up, I don't know how old you guys are, but it was reading, writing, arithmetic, Spanish, maybe history. And now they've got all this other crap in there that they're trying to, it's got to get back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And they aren't giving these kids the basics. I mean, how many kids don't know math today when they graduate from school, or they did away with cursive? How do you sign your name to something if you don't know cursive? I don't know if they brought that back or not.
No, they haven't.
No.
No, we got to get back to the basics. We got to get back to the common sense, and the common sense is found with the common people. And the problem is that, you know, like the teachers, when I was growing up, the teachers used to, you know, do their craft. They went to school, they got a teacher certificate, and they got to teach the way they thought that they should.
Yep.
And they did. Everybody had a different technique. There were good teachers, bad teachers. I personally like the idea of a video camera in every classroom, which there aren't. I don't know, maybe there is in your neck of the woods, but there aren't here. So, but if there were, parents could actually look in, you know, with a code, just like you know, we tried to do a little while ago, and they could watch their kids, make sure they're acting right, make sure the teacher is making some sense. And, you know, we have video cameras everywhere, you know, everywhere you go, but they're not in the most important places, and that's with our kids. You know, people say, well, you know, this kid acted up. Well, let's see. It's just the teacher's word against the kid's word. Let's see. These video cameras are nothing short of miraculous. All of this technology, this phone that I'm on right now, I would have never guessed in a million years that this thing would ever exist. You know, the four of us, wherever you're all located, if it had worked a little bit better, we could all be looking at each other.
Right.
You could, 20 years ago, you couldn't even talk about this. But today, as you know, people don't realize this is all miraculous communication technology. I believe it's been given to us by God. Politics has done an excellent job at dividing us, and communication technology, used the right way, can allow we as a community to start being involved in the issues again, start thinking. You know, we have no reason to think. I have never seen such an immature society in my life. And I know why, because it's systemic. We have 545 adults in Washington. We have 150 in state capitals, and we have 9 on a city council and a mayor. Well, if they're the adults, what the hell are we supposed to be? You know?
That's a good question.
I mean, we've got to, this plan will allow us to start thinking. You know, you turn on the TV and it's programming people to be oversexed and overviolent and pedophiles and all this other crap. And we need to, with a voice, we can take back control of our airwaves that are just being used on society to dumb us down and have us thinking between our legs and not between our ears. And One Voice now is the tool. It's a communication tool that God has given us so that we can evolve into adults like he wants us. I mean, that's what I want for my kids, and they have evolved into very fine adults. And I think that's what God wants for all of us. But sitting back like children waiting for, you know, I personally like Donald Trump a lot. I think I sacrificed so much to do what he's trying to do. He's trying to fix this mess that, you know, was intentionally created. And, but we can't expect him to fix it. He's just a mortal person, you know. God forbid something could happen to him or any of these people. We have to take responsibility for our own piece of America. And that's what One Voice now does. But without communication, we cannot be organized. And this is the communication tool for all of us in our communities to get organized. We might have 1,000 people in our community that want to get involved in raising, debating, and voting on education issues. I'd sort of like to lower the speed limit so, you know, we could start driving golf carts around for short distances and cleaning up our air. And everybody can be covered with health care if we keep our health care dollars local. And we own the hospital. It's not owned by a greedy corporation that's, you know, screwing the patient. And the community owns the hospital, and we hire a manager just like a corporation would, and everybody's covered. And we use the TV, radio, and internet to educate people on how to be healthy, which is what, you know, Robert Kennedy's trying to do. But it's got to happen in every community, and it can. But we have to use the communication technology the right way. Right now it's being used on us. We've got to use it for us.
I think part of the issue, and it's a great, I mean, the premise is amazing considering that it's worked up until 1942. you, you consider this old system, even when you look at the idea of the taxing system, it worked pretty well before, like you said, the implementation of more control over the citizenry and less control for the person, the individual person in their life. But I think the biggest issue that you will face is the acceptance that not everybody will want to not be controlled.
That's
Unfortunately,
up to them.
right,
That's up to them. They can either participate
or
same
not.
with our present system.
Right.
You know, you can either participate. Most people don't because they know that the system doesn't represent them, so they don't vote. They don't want to vote. But if all of a sudden, like I said, you could go to this. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but if all of a sudden this was the go-to channel where either they're showing a kid is missing, or there's a problem that the community needs to know about, or we can get rid of our property taxes and stop waiting for people who are on the receiving end of our property taxes. All of a sudden, this is that station. When you think about it, we've got the sports channel and the food channel and the travel channel, and we have all these. We have 100 different channels, but we don't have the most important channel. And the most important channel is the local issues TV, radio, and internet channel. And once we do that, all of a sudden people go, it's like when you're playing a basketball game, and I've done it, and they don't throw you the ball, and you go, I don't want to play anymore. But you guys have seen me, so you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if all of a sudden you start throwing that ball to somebody and they go, hey, that was pretty good, I want to do that again. Or what's the next question? And we get people thinking. But this is how easy it can be. Let me walk you through an issue real quick. Well, I don't know how much time we have, or if I bored the hell out of you guys.
No, you got it. You got about 10 minutes. You're good.
Okay. Let's say we take control of our local public broadcasting station, and we want to get people to register to vote. So we have people around town with computers where they're able to get their ID numbers and PIN numbers. They're verified voters. Well, we don't want to hear silly issues. So what's going to happen is when we fill up that computer, the computer is going to pick 10 people at random every week, just like a grand jury. People that have never had an opportunity to be part of this system, if you will, they'll be able to be there for 1 week. And so if Dave Frank has an idea, or any citizen, he can take that idea to those 10 people. They rotate. They're only there one time, and you get rid of them. The same reason a jury is, changed after every issue, so that the corruption can't get to them like we have now with these people that are doing what they're doing. So anyway, now we have 10 people. If you have an idea to make your community better, you present it to these 10 people. If the majority of them feel as this is an idea that should be considered by the community, they'll videotape you and your issue and present it to the community over the TV, radio, and internet for a period of 10 days. There will be 2 phone numbers that will be given. One number people can call and be part of a lobbying group for the issue. One number they can call and be part of a lobbying group against the issue. 30 days later, we're going to have a debate by these 2 lobbying groups and videotape the pros and the cons. And we're going to replay that debate over our local issues TV, radio, and internet channel for a period of 10 more days. And it will be assigned an issue number. So anybody that's interested in that issue, all they've got to do is call a local number. It'll go into a community database. What issue number would you give them your ID number and PIN? What issue number would you like to vote on? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, count your vote, block you out from voting more than once. Every time the debate is replayed over the 10-day period, there'll be an updated tally of the yeses and the nos, so that not only will the people in the community understand the issue, but the outcome will come from them. And we will implement that in our community. And when we find things that work in our community, we'll share it with the rest of the communities. And when they find things that work, they'll share it with us. And we'll start rebuilding this great country from the top, or from the bottom up. And the exciting thing about it is, you know, the world is waiting for America to lead. America is still the greatest country in the world, but it's not a democracy. It never has been, but it can be. Democracy is the only system, the only kind of government system that is built from the ground up, community by community, has a solid foundation. So if we do this in America, those people in China are going to go, hey, what are they doing there? Or Russia, or Ukraine, or wherever. And they're going to go, well, we can do that. We can have a TV station that sends out the information, and a radio, and a local website. We can do that, and we can have a community database that holds ID numbers and PIN numbers so people can vote on these issues, and we can start rebuilding our own communities and country from the ground up. So that's basically it. I'm telling you, we can do this. The blueprint's right on onevoicenow.org. All I need is help getting it out there. And I think Marlon and I have been brought together for a reason. And I'm just thinking if we could just get it to the right person, like a Bobby Kennedy, who can talk to the community over this system, every community, and share good ideas for health, I think he'd love it.
And I think that's the goal, is to get it in front of people who can stand in a gap that we don't have right now, because we lost that gap years ago, and so we kind of still have to use the confines of the system they set up to set up the new system.
That's right.
And so I think it could work. I can't say it wouldn't, because I know how government can be, to Burroughs' point, that they'll probably do everything in their power to then say, well, public radio is a problem, so we're going to have to shut down public radio, and then, and that's it.
Let me say this real quick, and then I'll shut up. Yeah, Marlon, you and I have talked about this, I think. The other guys on this call, do you remember Ross Perot, or any of you guys old enough to remember Ross Perot?
Yep.
Oh, okay, well, Ross Perot was on a show called Larry King Live. Do you remember Larry King Live by chance? Yeah. It was on CNN, and Larry King asked Ross Perot, he said, hey, Larry, he said, you're a smart guy. He said, if you ran America, what would you do? And all Larry King said, this is all he said, really. And I was doing a radio program at the same time locally, saying basically the same thing. All he said was, well, I'd build a technological town hall meeting and voting system. And I'm telling you, the next day, America went crazy. America put him on the ballot. He tried to stop NAFTA. I don't know if you guys know what NAFTA is.
But American Free Trade Agreement.
Right? It sucked the middle class right out of America. It took our good jobs and gave them to slaves in other countries. And he tried to stop that. And I'm telling you guys, and I've been doing this for 35 years. In 35 years, I have never found one person that did not vote for Ross Perot. Not one. He won that election. They gave him 20%. They made him drop out because they threatened him and his family. And there was election fraud today, and there was election fraud back then. The last thing they wanted back then was the American people to have a voice. So we can do this, but I just need help. So anything you guys can do or think of to help move this along, I would sure appreciate it.
We shall do just that. I mean, that's the whole point of having a voice, is executing it.
Yeah.
If you don't, then what's the point of having the voice?
You know what? If you don't have a voice constitutionally, you know who didn't have voices? Slaves.
Yep, and they still had one.
That's right. That's right. And that's why it is constitutionally, slaves didn't have voices. Conversely, people without voices are slaves. We would have never handed over 60% of what we make to these idiots.
That's right.
I found the video, and I think it's quite appropriate to kind of close off with this. It's the interview with Ross Perot. I'm going to play it here for everybody to hear. This is about him and the losing jobs to NAFTA thing.
I'd like to know what Mr. Perot and Mr. Gore have both learned from the previous free trade agreement between Canada and the U.S.
Both learned, Ross?
Well, just by watching it, first thing, thousands of people joined United We Stand America out of Canada. I couldn't figure out why, so I checked. They were mad at NAFTA. Then I watched the election. The Conservative Party had 155 seats and the Prime Minister. There's a message here for both political parties in the United States. After the dust cleared, they had 2 seats in Parliament, no Prime Minister.
NAFTA?
Reason, NAFTA. Why? Huge numbers of manufacturing jobs left Canada, came into the United States because of a 15% wage differential. We pay our workers less in Canada. Now, when you've got a 7-to-1 wage differential between the United States and Mexico, you will hear the giant sucking sound.
No,
there's a political lesson, there's a business lesson.
I'm going to ask you to limit the answers. So
Yeah, but
Of course, they'd shut him up because he was making too much sense.
Yeah. Oh, he made sense. Everybody knew exactly what he was talking about, and especially when he said technological town hall meeting system, everybody knew what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, he wants us to vote on issues.
And it wasn't too long after that they started pushing the idea that he was crazy.
Yep.
Well, I was talking to his sister, and you know, she was digging what I was saying. I was a little ahead. I mean, I was ahead of my time. It was before we all had a voting device, these touch-tone phones. But we did have touch-tone phones back then, and so she was really digging what I was saying, and we were all supposed to get together, and then I flew into I go to Canada to go fishing, and I flew in. I was in for a week. We didn't have radio or anything, and we flew out, and I got in the car. I turned on the radio, and the first thing that I heard was Ross Perot backed out.
Mm-hmm.
They got to him. They threatened him and his family. But I'm telling you, he won that election. There's no doubt he won that election. This is what the American people want. If RFK or Donald Trump or just about anybody at the top said, "Hey, we have this idea. We think it can work," Elon Musk would go crazy. He'd just buy up all the broadcasting stations that PBS has and NPR, and he'd just transform them to One Voice Now.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
I can see him doing something like that too.
It can happen, and it's got to happen. I'm telling you, we are being invaded. You know that.
Oh,
This is scary stuff. I mean, the New World Order. It's got one goal. It's order out of chaos.
Yep.
And they opened up our borders to create chaos. And we can take it back, but we've got to have a voice in our communities so that we can do that. And we, like I said, without communication, there's no organization. We're totally disorganized. You know, think of your brain cells. If they aren't interconnected, you aren't going to function. And that's what this does, is it brings all the people in our community together. And, you know, this part of your brain works on, this many people work on education, this many people clean up your air. I mean, it's just, we can do it.
Yeah.
But I need some friends, man, because I told Marlon I have terminal cancer. I'm doing okay. Technology is keeping me going here. But I'm not going to be here forever. And I want to leave this country in good shape for you guys and your families and all families. And we can do this. I mean, all we've got to do is use this technology the right way. It's being used on us. We have to use it for us. And all we need is a break. So,
yeah. Well, what we're going to try and do is, our job here is to get it out first. And we've done phase 1 of that, and we'll recap it on probably next week. We'll recap and try and flesh out some stuff. I'm still trying to get back a hold, like I told you, of the ball player. What was his name that we had on? Stockton, Mr. Stockton.
Yeah, John Stockton.
Get him in a headlock, man.
Yeah.
Just get him in a headlock and just let me talk to him.
We're supposed to try and have another, because he said he would be down for it, so I just got to reach out. But I have been torn 7 different ways from Sunday and doing stuff, so time has not been on my side, but I will get that figured out. And once we get him and you in the same room and we get your StreamYard up and running, then we'll have a nice, robust conversation. I think it can really get some ears perked up, especially with the circles that John runs in.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
once we get that figured out, man, I think we'll be able to at least start the train moving. And before too long, we'll get past the uphill and we'll be on the decline, and we can use less effort. It'll just kind of take over organically. So there'll be no stopping it from that point.
With somebody like him, we're about one person away from fixing America.
Yeah. Well,
We can do it.
I'm glad it still worked out to where we could still have the interview, regardless of the internet acting a fool and StreamYard. But we got it figured out. The next time we'll make sure we have you on screen. We'll figure out a way for it to work then. But thank you, David. Okay. Thank you so much for the information, and we will wrap it here. But definitely we'll have you back on as soon as I get a hold of John.
Okay, Marlon. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Hope to meet you sometime.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Be well. God bless.
Bye.
You too.
Good conversation. Like I said, I still have my trepidation about people, and if we know if he's gonna do it, it has to be within the Trump administration. It can't be after.
Yeah.
We have to get it moving because they'll shut it down if it's a different administration.
Oh yeah, I was like the biggest hurdle would be big tech.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that part.
That's who you'd have to get through, because big tech, if they see something like this happening, and then they'll notice a shift from watching their programs on the national level, which we're tired of seeing all this national stuff. We do want to see more local issues, things that are going on within our community. They don't want that. They don't have their hand in it, and they're not in control of it.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So I apologize for it not having worked out the way we want in terms of video and his being on screen, but at least we got to hear what he had to say. I am not sure about Straight Talk in the morning, because if this pain kicks off the way it did this morning, it was a miracle I showed up this morning. But it's problematic. I can be honest with y'all. I've been dealing with pain a long time, but this one is different. This one doesn't want to respond to nothing I do. The doctor this morning said it might be, it more than likely is my neck that's causing all the issues, a severely pinched nerve. But if it's pinched in my neck, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. It's not just chiropractic alone, especially considering that I do have a bulging disc in that same neck. So if it's in the same area, there could be some. And my hand is numb, half of it, literally. Like this half here is numb, and it goes all the way up to the elbow. The elbow is numb, the shoulder is numb, but on the backside of the tricep is a straight line of taut pain, like it feels like it's about to rip in half. And the same thing with my back. So it's like I don't know what to make of it. I'm hoping that it's just something small that they can do, but I honestly don't know. But if it is something that I have to have surgery for, it will put me out for a long time. If it's neck or even remotely anything to do with the spine, I will be out minimum 6 months. So yeah, I just want you all to know that is what the possibility is if it's surgery. Now, if I can find a way to medicate the pain, I'll do that instead of surgery. But I have tried many of the medications for pain, and I think my body is saying, you know what, dude? I think we can find a workaround to your solve, and we're going to make you hurt more. So
there's got to be something out there.
Yeah, there has to be.
I did my portion. I went to the gym when I could, and I tried to build up the muscles around it, but it won. It has won. It has taken me out of the gym because I just can't. I can't do it. So I just want to give you a heads up. Tomorrow may not be any Straight Talk on, depending on when I have an MRI on Wednesday to see if they can find anything worse about the neck. I just want to give you all a heads up, not a headache, a head up of what might be coming down the pike. So if you just see these two guys for the next 4 or 5 months after I get the news, you'll understand why it's not just me bailing on the program. I won't be able to sit here unless you see me with a neck brace like this, talking the whole time. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Forget about any sort of laughter and like that. That's gonna hurt. Oh.
I'll be like, I'll get on and say, listen, see, this is me, and this is the Patriots, see.
Damn, it's not fun.
Hear me out, man. See, yeah. Hey, look, and I was ripping them out. I was ripping them bad boys out. But I stopped long before the shoulder. The shoulder wasn't even a problem then. But I haven't done anything in the gym for the last 4 months. That's how long I've been absent from the gym, is 4 months. But I was shrugging 350.
Ooh, don't tell me about shoulder shrugs, because I live with shoulder shrugs, man.
I was shrugging 350 on the bar, and it was going. I'm talking about not just. I'm talking about a full up and down. It was good. I was feeling good, and then I wasn't feeling good, and now I'm not feeling good at all. So it is.
I mean, the fact that he's going to be after 6 months pulling the Batman like this.
Yeah, like what?
I'll
be looking up like, what?
Where is he?
Where is he? I'm Batman. I don't want to be like that. I really don't. I'd much rather not be able. I want to turn. I want to look.
That's not fun.
No, but like if I did, you see that look down here? I can't look down that way. The instant I look down this way, there's a pinch that happens right in here, right underneath here, and it's like a spark pain that just happens.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And so just that looking. So if I had to turn, I have to do this to look down here. I can't look to the left. So
that's crazy.
Hey, look, I understand, and that's why I stopped. I stopped because when I went to the chiropractor, he said, "Well, you could do without that in presses." I was up to 140 pounds strict press.
No.
I was happy, man. I was like, man, I'm getting gains. I mean, 140 straight up. I was feeling good, but then the arm started acting weird, and I stopped. And I was glad I stopped, but it's painful.
Mm-hmm. What if it's just something so simple, and they look at it, they'll be like, "Oh, we can break your neck and get rid of this or something."
I'll let them break it. Get rid of it.
Don't do that.
Like, you're and Diane, look, I'm wearing the pain because you can see it. I'm just not feeling hot. I'm sorry. I'm just not. It is not fun. I don't wish this on anybody. I really don't. But I do want to get it figured out because it is not nice.
Maybe you should just play some Destiny 2.
That's what I should do. Just sit down and chill. So yesterday when we were chilling, right?
Yeah.
I had gotten up and man, the pain was so bad. So I sat on the chair, and the only way I could sit on the chair is if my butt was at the very end of the chair and my back was lean. So I was like this the whole evening, right? And I could only have the arm propped up a little bit higher. So I was just like this the whole time. I couldn't move. Jeez. If I moved even a little bit, I had to get up and use the bathroom one time, and I was like, do I really need to, or can I just go here? And just have the kids. Yeah, just have the kids clean up later. I don't.
Pee in a bottle. You know. Yeah, Marlon and I were playing Destiny 2 yesterday, and he kept talking about his pain while we were playing.
Yeah, it was rough.
But we were murking some people in it.
We were doing good. And then when I did the Zoom, I couldn't even be on camera, y'all. I'm sorry, but I don't think y'all want to see me flinching all the time. You really don't. I'm not liking it. It's not my wheelhouse, and I'd much rather be able to handle this. And I really do. So we'll catch up. We'll catch up with things. As soon as we know, I'll let you know, and we'll go for that. But we more than likely be back Wednesday, with or without me. But in the morning, I'm not sure of, because I do want to try and get a little more rest. And if I can take it, I'll take it. So
the only thing going on for Wednesday is that Letitia James Comey, their charges getting thrown out.
Justice system.
Yeah. And we can definitely cover that for sure. For sure. Let me see here. Make sure I send this. Okay, I'll do that after. So we'll figure that out. We'll let you know. Just keep an eye on the platform, and we'll let you know what's happening. Mr. Lee?
Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see you Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.